up? What up? It's your boy DJ Naeem. I want to give a huge shout out. Going out to my Jersey boys, breaking down these UFC cards, baby. Let's go.
Got a little mama and she chillin' by the poolside. Fashion over drip, body done with a hair tie. Ex keep calling, tell that boy he need to sit back. You don't got a bag, you can never get your chick back. Broke boys, we don't like them. Bad, bad, yeah, we pipe them. And I need some big money with some hype fans. Said I need some big money with some hype fans. Broke boys, we don't like them. Bad, bad, yeah, we pipe them. And I need some big money with some hype fans. Said I need some big money with some hype fans.
Check it. When I'm in Vegas, bring the drops out. Yeah. When I'm in Miami, bring the yachts out. Water, water.
Jersey boys in the house. Drew, what's up, bro?
What's up, my brother? How you been?
I've been good. Yo, that beard is looking correct right now.
Yo, thank you, man. I've been working hard, you know.
But listen, it looks it. So let's get right into this card. We got a card coming up on Saturday night. UFC Vegas 17, I think is what we're calling it. We've had a couple fights drop out in the last 2 days. The latest is that Carlton Minus is going to be fighting Giagos. Yeah, we don't have a line yet, so let's just pass that along. If anybody wants the official pick on that, go to madlab.com, madlabmma.com. You can sign up and you can get your picks. So let's get right into this second fight, Drew. We're looking at Jimmy Flick and Cody Durden. I'm gonna throw this to you because I think you're gonna like slick Jimmy Flick here. What do you think?
What makes you think I'm gonna like the brick? Tell me what makes you think I'm gonna like the brick.
Because you're a hugger, and
so
all you huggers like the strength. He's got a doctorate in strangulation.
So it's not because he has 13 wins by submission. It's not because of that, right?
It may be because of that. I think it's exactly because of that.
Couldn't be because of that. So let me just start off by saying that. I'm saying, how are you, bud? Thank you. And I'm excited for this weekend, as you can tell. This card is literally dumped with all of the fights that have been canceled. And this Jimmy Flick fight, I love it simply because of what you said, jiu-jitsu. And Cody Durden, to me, he's a good wrestler, and like every wrestler, they pretty much shit on every person who does jiu-jitsu just because they think they're superior. Hey, I go with wrestlers all the time. They're great people. A lot of them are my friends. But in this case, I just think Cody Durden is a little bit in too deep. And when I say that, it's because when I watch a lot of his tape, and I don't mean his tape in fighting, I mean his interviews lately, he's more concerned about his weight. Keep in mind, this is one of his first times dropping down to 125. And when they asked him about his weight, he was more concerned about making 126. And a cool stat that I picked up was that I think even Jimmy Flick said it in his interview that he noticed was that Cody Durden's only ever made it down to 127. So he might be even missing weight here. So, I mean, look for that. So, I mean, he might look at as making weight as a victory and then even forget about the fight in total. You know what I'm saying? So, here, simply put, I'm going for Jimmy Flick with a sub. I don't know what round. I'm thinking late because I'm hoping Cody Durden tires out. He's probably going to come out, try to knock Jimmy Flick out, try to get him out early, trying to dominate him. Flick is probably going to throw up a million subs. And Cody's going to get tired just trying to get out of him. So, if anything, if I have to go with a prop bet, I'm probably going to go with Jimmy Flick in the third with a sub and Jimmy Flick winning by a sub. So what say you, Steve?
Are you going, again, we're looking to get that FanDuel sponsorship. So are you going?
You do. Holla at us, bro. I'll be outside.
Are you going with the double chance bet? Sub or by points?
I actually feel real confident, but yeah, we can go three ways. We can go sub with that double chance pick, which pretty much you don't really get anywhere else. You know what I'm saying, except FanDuel. So that's always a cool bet to go with, just in case he throws up a million subs, which, by the way, on the Dana White Contender Series, he probably broke the record or has the record for the most submission attempts in that fight.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
He won.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's amazing. So, I mean, he's great off his back, and I expect no less in this fight. He's going to put Cody in a lot of bad spots. So yeah, that's my pick. Jimmy Flick.
Yeah, and Drew, I apologize for looking over to the left, but as you know, my son is over there. I told you before we got on
No,
here.
he's
So
good, man. He's
I'm
good.
keeping an eye on him. He's watching Peppa Pig right now until my wife gets home. So I'm multitasking, as most of us dads need to do. So I'm with you with Jimmy Flick. I bet him. All right, I have 4 bets on this card already down. I talked to Mad Lab earlier in the day, and I told him, I said, I got 4 bets already, so you can tell me whatever you want. But as of right now, I'm good to go with these bets. I like Jimmy Flick a lot. These guys were supposed to fight December 5th, bro, 2 weeks ago. Durden withdrew with the medical issue. I believe it was pink eye. I think that's what was reported, pink eye. But that was the first time Durden cut to 125. So now he's making that cut because he made 125. So he's making that cut, twice. The only time he's ever made 125, he's making it 2 weeks in a row to have this first fight. So I don't know what he's going to look like. Flick usually fights at 125. So I'm going to assume that, he's definitely a submission specialist, but I don't know how much this this cut is going to affect him. So I already have a bet on Jimmy Flick. I took him straight up, and I also put a little bit of money on him with a double chance because, again, on FanDuel, we can bet in Jersey submission or on points. So that's what I took too. So you get a little better odds. Save like 15, 20 points on that. Drew, this next fight, Tafon, I'm going to screw up his name. A lot of people criticize the podcast guys that screw up the names, but I'm going to do it. Go ahead. Can you say it?
Nchukwi.
So Tafon Nchukwi and Jamie Pickett.
I could be wrong, but I think that's how you say it.
No, we'll go with that. What are you feeling here?
Let me just give you one stat about Tafon Nchukwi. He has 4 fights, and all of his fights are by KO. And he's a complete brick. He trains out of Lloyd Irvin, which all the guys that come out of Lloyd Irvin recently are absolute studs. That gym over there in jiu-jitsu or in MMA or in fighting, whatever it is you got to do, those guys are studs. And in every fight that I saw him in, dude, everything he throws, if he just touches you, it's damaging. You know what I'm saying? If you watch the Contender Series, when he obliterated, I think what's his name, Matava, with a head kick, that wasn't by mistake. The way he trailed the Matava's head to the head kick, like he was really patient. He was laser like, dude, he's a sniper. And if you watch some of his earlier fights, he fought this brick of a guy like a Hulk, and he looked like the smaller fighter. As funny as you can even say that, calling him small, and he manhandled him. And I just really don't expect Jamie Pickett, which is he's a big dude. He has more reach, but in the same breath, Jamie Pickett doesn't really know how to use that reach. In some of the fights I saw, he was fighting smaller guys, and the smaller guys, didn't really even have to get inside because Jamie Pickett was in the range. He didn't know how to keep them away. So that's a little concerning for me. And I just see Tafon just getting the better of him, and he's just going to keep being dominant. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with going in the future for sure. So for me, I have a couple bets with him. I have him in winning by KO, obviously. My prop pick would be KO in the second, because I think Jamie Pickett gets out of the first round because they're just going to feel each other out. They're real patient. And both ways, KO or points. That's pretty much where I'm going with him.
I'm going to keep this real short and sweet because a lot of what you said is what I would say anyway. I just don't know, the narrative that I'll give you is this is his first fight at 185, right? He usually fights, I think he's fought at heavyweight, but he weighed in like 220. And then his last fight was at 205, right? Was that light heavyweight? So this is the first time making that cut to 185. That's a 20-pound cut. He's a big dude. Again, I think that's got to affect him a little bit, right? Let's say, go with your narrative. Jamie Pickett's able to get into that second round. He could be gassing with the muscular physique that he has. It's an interesting fight, and it's going to be. I'm going to stay away betting altogether. But this is an interesting fight for DraftKings because if you have Tafon and he gets that first round knockout, he pays off. If Pickett's able to withstand that early onslaught, get into the second and third round, make it dicey, maybe get to the scorecards, that could be, that's a big switch for DraftKings players. And again, if Pickett's able to get him in the third round late, he maybe gasses out a little bit or takes him on the scorecards, that could be a late pick if win. So I'm staying away from this altogether.
You see, but here's just let me 1 second, sir. 1 second. 1 second. Here's where I have a problem with what you said. You're talking about Tafon as if he's really a brawler when he's not. He's very calculated. You know what I'm saying? Like in the fights that I've seen or that I watched at least, he didn't go crazy. He was very calculated. He was patient, and he moved in a way that didn't really use a lot of energy. Yes, he's very muscular. He's very big. He's sturdy. But you said it yourself. He was in a heavyweight fight weighing 220. So what does that really say? He's very strong. He's sturdy, and he's one of those guys where I feel like, for instance, when I do jiu-jitsu tournaments, sometimes I just go in at the weight that I am, and I don't care about the weight class. And why is that? Because I feel comfortable at that weight and my strongest. And that's maybe what Tafon is doing here. His biggest cut was maybe that 20 pounds. That's it. But I don't think that's much, dude, especially for a guy from Lloyd Irvin. And that's why I feel as confident going with him.
Listen, man, I'm just going to put it this way. We got some special guests to tell you you're wrong, all right?
Whoa!
So I had to surprise Drew.
Yeah.
I let him finish, but I had to surprise Drew with some.
Yo, you bro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
My shit's all fucked up. It all sounds fucked up.
Well, I mean, I hear you.
Yo, Captain, you never shut up, dude.
Yo, dude, I'm sorry, bro. I'm so excited, bro. I need to shut the fuck up for a second.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, what's going on, dude?
It's gonna be a 2-hour podcast.
I'm really excited to see you, man. I'm chilling.
Yeah, me too, dude. Good. What's up, brother?
Yo, living, man. Yo, Lab. I literally on purpose stayed away from looking at anything that you posted yet, just so I could this can be my own thoughts, and I didn't want to cheat.
Good.
I didn't want to look at the gold mine. You know what I'm saying? So if I fuck up anything here, I can go over and be like, "Hey, all right, that makes sense."
Good. I'm happy, dude. I want to hear what you got to say. What are you talking? What fight are you talking about?
We just talked about Jamie Pickett.
Yeah, the Jamie Pickett fight. I'm going with Tafon here. Steve's staying away. I'm confident because Tafon being a Lloyd Irvin product and me knowing a little bit about Lloyd Irvin in the jiu-jitsu world and what he's done with other prospects in the UFC. I feel that Tafon and Jamie Pickett not being able to really use his distance the way that I feel he should, I feel is going to get him in trouble in this fight. And Tafon, if he just touches you, is going to blast you. So I feel like Jamie Pickett really is on thin ice in this fight, and he could get caught for sure.
All right, awesome, dude. Love it. Man, my man over there looking like he's getting ready to build a snowman.
Oh, he was building snowman all day. Yeah, what do you think about this weight cut, man?
Honestly, I'm in a basement right now, right? Just chilling because I was helping out my buddy upstairs shoveling, and here I am. So,
yeah, how's the weather over there, though? How's the weather?
It snowed all day.
Yeah, it's snowed all day. Last night was really bad, but I mean, it cleared up pretty good. I mean, the roads are better than I thought it would be.
It was okay over here. It was like 78 degrees, sunny.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
all right.
Wow.
All right.
That's great.
Listen,
okay.
I'm just to help, okay? Just so you guys know, I'm a boxing background guy. That's how me and Mike, we grew up, 20 years ago watching boxing. So I've been UFC dabbling just since Mike got with Elite. So I don't know much about it. I'm just to help. I'm the marketing guy. When you guys see the emails, I'm the one firing the fucking emails off. That's my end of it. I listen to whatever the fuck Lab says. That's what I do. So I don't know nothing. I'm just here for the fucking ride.
Let's do it, baby.
And to have some fun.
Well, we're definitely having fun.
Oh, I'm having a great time.
But Lab, I want you to reach these people real quick with this weight cut, because we talk weight cuts all the time. Tafon, this is his first fight at 185. He usually fights at light heavyweight, 205. What do you think about this weight cut for him?
Listen, man, it really depends on his genetic code, bro. Like, everybody's different. Some people peel weight off really quick, and some people don't. I mean, it really did. If anybody has ever been on a diet before, they know that the first, the quickest weight that comes out off you is always the water weight. You know what I mean? It comes off super, super quick. And then all of a sudden it starts getting harder and harder. And then eventually, your body either shuts down to a point where you got to really play with your caloric intake, and you got to trip up your carb loading and carb depleting, and some people water load and stuff like that. There's so many different ways. It really depends on his body reacts. We're not going to know. We don't have a track record to really see how his body's going to react to it.
No, you're right about that.
You know, I know for me, I can put it on and take it off as quick as I I put it on. I've been
Mike,
that way my whole life.
What did Felder do for the RDA fight? He waterloaded, right?
He waterloads, yeah. But you got to really know what you're doing. He, Drew probably knows about that. You really got to know what you're doing when you waterload, bro.
I mean, me personally, I can only speak to one experience. Well, a couple actually, because like I said, with me when it comes to jiu-jitsu and fighting, I always fight where I'm at the weight that I'm at because that's how I train. I always train with bigger guys, so it helps me out. But my best and worst cut was 10 pounds overnight, and the way that I did that shit was strictly I just got the water out of my body, all of it gone. I was in the sauna for on and off in total time, maybe like 3 hours. And then in the jacuzzi as well, and then did a little exercise. I made weight, and it's funny because just like Cody Durden was trying to get it just to the mark where you can get it. That's what I got it to. I just got right where I needed to get, and I made weight, got paid, and everything was good. But in this fight for Tafon, to Steven's point, I don't think it's going to be a big deal, man. Especially when you come from the Lloyd Irvin camp. That's the main reason why I don't think it's going to be a big deal, because Lloyd Irvin has those guys really prepared mentally and physically. And those guys really, they're always on point, man. No matter where you find them in any competition, in any mat around the world, they're always on point. I mean, look at Sijara Eubanks. She's a product of them too. You know what I'm saying? She's had her ups and downs, but she's still gritty and she still gets it done. And that's
the wifey just showed up. Hey, listen, I'm gonna take off and watch you guys. But hey, babe, look. That's Captain Parlay. You see that guy right there with the hat? That's Captain Parlay right there. Look, we're live. Look, we're live right here. Look, say hi.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you? I told her about the nicknames. She goes, and I told her about Captain Parlay. So now she can put her face on it. All right.
Yeah. By the way, I'm
also. I'll be watching her. Right, goes good shit, man.
All right, Bush.
Yeah,
thanks, brother.
Bush. Yeah, so you're right about listen. It all depends on who's training you, but listen. I trained somebody for Abu Dhabi. She flew in from New Mexico, and her name was Michelle Mills, and she was a really, really good grappler from New Mexico. And she flew in and she stayed with me for about 5 days, and I had to cut weight on her, bro. And the things I had to do to that girl to make her cut weight, like we used the whole Abilene deal, put Abilene on her body, wrapped her up, and it seemed like everything was going fine until the last like half a pound, bro. To the point where we got to the hotel to weigh her in, and I literally had to take her into the hotel gym, put all the fucking heat all the way up, wrap her up again, and she had to suck that weight. You know what I mean? So it really depends, but some guys take it right off and some guys don't. You won't know until he steps on the scale.
No, you're right. I gotta answer a family question. So my wife is asking, is my son sleeping? And so he isn't sleeping. He's over on the couch right now. And he trains lab with chocolate milk. I know you know this. Old secret. Train with chocolate milk. It's good for after the workout, right?
Chocolate milk?
Yeah.
Well, I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't do the chocolate.
All right. I used to drink chocolate milk every
Yo,
I asked my wife. All right, Lev, you want to break down one fight with us? Another
yeah.
Winn and Antonio Arroyo, and then we'll let you go. I know you said you got about 10, 15 minutes with us.
Yeah. Whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, because this is at a catchweight, right? So it's the same narrative here. We're talking about cutting weight. Why is this at a catchweight at 195? Deron Winn usually fights at 185. And I think he's even fought at light heavyweight, right? And Antonio Arroyo's at 185. His last fight was 185. So what do you think here? 9-inch height advantage, 3-inch reach.
Yeah, you want to start it, Drew?
Nah, dude. Please take the floor, and I'll follow right behind you if you'd like, please.
So I honestly I don't know really what to make of this fight. I was on Arroyo in the last matchup that he had before it got canceled. I like his striking. I like his range management. I like he's got a good striker's body. He's long. His reach isn't as long as I thought it was. His reach looks a lot longer than it actually is. I think he's got a 74-inch reach. So I think he's got a 4-inch reach on Winn. I think Winn's 70, right?
Mm-hmm. I wrote down 3-inch reach, but I didn't write the numbers down.
Okay, yeah. So when Winn fought Mearchart actually had a 6-inch reach on him, and he was able to get in. The thing with Winn is that he's a product of Daniel Cormier. He's got the same somatotype, if you really think about it. I mean, Cormier's not that short, but he's got that short, stocky stature. And when you're that small and you got that size and that level of gravity and that pedigree in wrestling, it's a lot easier for you to dial in on somebody's hips. He doesn't really utilize that much, though. Like Daniel Cormier will go to wrestling to his bread and butter. Winn will not. Winn wants to strike with you. And he finds his way inside. He really did find his way inside against somebody with Murchard, man. He really got in there. He was able to tag him a few times. He put him on skates a few times. But I don't look at Murchard to have the same well-rounded pedigree upstairs and downstairs with kicks and strikes as Arroyo does. So, the way I'm looking at this, I think the only path for Winn to really win this fight is to really get in on his hips and really utilize his wrestling. If he stands and strikes with him, I think it's going to be it'll be almost like a points match. I mean, I think he can just keep peppering his legs, and the more you pepper somebody's legs, because Arroyo's got great kicks. I don't know if you ever really watch his. Got very good kicks. If he peppers away at his legs, which are going to be easy targets for him, that takes away your explosion on your shot. You know what I mean? So if he's hitting him with leg kicks for the first round, that explosion on the initial, double blast or the single leg, whatever he's going for, you're going to kind of numb his legs up a little bit, and it's not going to be as effective at that point. So it really depends on how he approaches it. But the other thing, he doesn't really, he will get the takedown, but he doesn't have the stature to keep you there. You know what I mean? He really, really doesn't. I mean, if you really look at the historical body of work of Winn, he will get you down, but he really just doesn't secure it for long enough. So, I mean, to me, he's got an uphill battle in this fight. But if he really, really game plans and blueprints his wrestling, I think he can make it a lot more interesting than it is.
And Arroyo's BJJ is not bad. And then the other prop bet, I'll just throw a prop bet if you want to throw something crazy. Drew and I have a tendency on FanDuel to throw two crazy prop bets together. 2 weeks ago, we hit one I hit it for about $950. I think, Drew, you were up around $2,000 with a $20 prop bet, right? With the two together? Yeah. So Arroyo by KO is plus 600.
Okay.
So you could throw that with another prop bet. You know what I mean? Like I'll throw something like that with Jimmy Flick submission round 2, and that'll probably pay you about $900, like $10 bet. You know what I mean? So that's what we'll just throw out there a couple. And we enjoy trying to get that big hit there. But Drew, go ahead. What do you think here, bro?
So I'm actually happy that Lab ended up talking about his kicks, because that's exactly how I think he's going to mitigate the fact that his reach isn't as long as we think, right? Because he's going to keep that distance with his kicks, and the way that he's going to nullify the fact that Winn is going to get on his hips. Because look, be honest, I watched Winn fight twice today, right? I watched a bunch of tape, but I kept watching a little bit. And the fights that I noticed today, to watch them a bunch, was that in the first fight, he really stand and bang. And if he feels that he can stand and bang with you, then he's going to keep it there. And he's not going to really use the wrestling. He'll keep that in his back pocket just to keep him safe. Because anybody who can wrestle, anybody who can do jiu-jitsu is going to try to dance with their hands a little bit. Why? Because they don't care about getting taken down. And Winn, in this instant, his only, the first fight I saw, he used his hands. The second fight, I think it was against Darren Stewart, right? He knew he couldn't stand and bang with him because Stewart will rearrange his face. So what did he do? He wrestled. You know what I'm saying? And he tried to wrestle. It didn't matter if he was getting elbowed in the head. It didn't matter if he was getting elbowed in the face. He was committed to taking him down. And he did a bunch of times in that fight. But he got split open. Darren Stewart was on his back and he got split open. And in this fight, I don't see it really going to the ground, because I feel that the height advantage and the distance management with the leg kicks is going to nullify, Deron Winn. And, if Antonio Arroyo can put his legs out and make it difficult for Winn to move, I think he can put him out, within the distance. I don't know if it's going to be spectacular, but I think he can get him out. TKO, possibly, for sure.
The only thing I'm concerned about with him is that he's really accepting of takedowns. You know what I mean? He's very, very accepting of them. So if Winn does take him down, he might not even have to try to keep him there. You know what I mean? Because Arroyo is very accepting of takedowns. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't mind working from his back at all. And when you got somebody the stature of 5'6", 185 pounds, it's not as easy to tie somebody up like that. You know what I mean? He's a brick, bro. He's got the big, thick limbs. He's got the thick neck. So it's not going to be that easy. So, I mean, my suggestion to him, if I was in his camp, I would just say, stay off the canvas, get off your ass. As soon as your ass hits the floor, shrimp out, get your hips going and get up. Keep Winn standing. But I agree with you, bro. I think if he's going to keep the range management with him, it's going to come from his kicks.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. We'll give one more fight. So
let's go.
Drew knows Karl Roberson personally, so Drew, I'm gonna throw this one to you. Karl Roberson and Dalcha. I'll just introduce it and then you go with it. This is Dalcha again, another weight cut, right? Dalcha's first cut to 185. Big power. Again, I'm going no bet here. I think the line. I don't want to lay minus 275 on Karl. I do like Karl here. I think Dalcha in DraftKings as a punt play with a chance to knock him out or something like that. I think this stays on its feet. But Drew, what do you think here? You know anything about Karl and his training here?
I think this is the perfect fight for Karl. Little dangerous because he's fighting Dalcha, but perfect in the fact that if you look at all of his losses, they've all come by way of submission. Everybody who's ever put him out or beat him or whatever it was, from what I'm looking at, Tapaji has been by rear naked choke, arm triangle, or at least the last couple fights. Arm triangle choke, and then the other ones were any kickboxing bouts that I'm looking at. So, I mean, in this fight, I don't think Dalcha, yes, he is a judo specialist. Don't get me wrong. He can take you down. But in the fights that I saw, when he wasn't on top and he was on his back, he wasn't getting up either. He was stuck on his back. And that same narrative that you had earlier, Steve, for Tafon, that weight cut is going to affect him, I feel like that's going to play in here with Dalcha. Because that big physique and the way that he's explosive and the way that really he doesn't really throw jabs or anything. Everything's an explosion, goes crazy, tries to catch you, and then backs off. And I think that's going to hurt him in this fight. And Karl, he's the better fighter here. He's more technical. I feel like he's just as strong or maybe stronger and hits harder. But he's more honed in. And in this fight, it's going to show. And that's why I feel like, for his path to victory, he's going to have to stay within his distance, try not to get caught by some crazy shit. And I feel like he probably gets a cool kick and knocks him out. Because if you look at Dalcha, the last fight he got blasted by was a straight up kick by Ankalaev, I believe.
Yeah.
And that was pretty awesome. And honestly, I feel like Karl Roberson can do the same thing here with his kickboxing. Out of Killer B, that's a great camp, man. Coach Brian, he's awesome. Karl's been ready. I feel like this is gonna be a big weekend for him. And me personally, I haven't found him on FanDuel. Have you found him on FanDuel yet?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, because all week I was trying to bet him and I didn't see anything. But if I'm going to take him, I'm probably going to take him either by KO or by points, the double chance, and that's where I'm going to lay my money, if anything.
Yeah, Dalcha's like a poor man's Yoel Romero with his his explosions, right? That's quick explosion, but like you're saying, with this big weight cut, that's why Yoel doesn't throw a lot of strikes, right? He just looks for those big power moments. He tries to have his moments, but those moments could be done by the middle of the second round. Madlab, what do you think there?
I mean, stylistically, I think it's a great matchup for Roberson. I really do. So, and if you really look at the history of judo, judo's never really translated that well in MMA. I mean, if you really, really look at the guys and the girls who had success, there weren't many. I mean, you had like Karo Parisian back in the day. Ronda Rousey obviously came from a judo background. But outside of that, like, it's just there's a translation issue with just straight judo to MMA. They'll get you to the ground, but after that, and if you look at this guy, the thing that I noticed about him is picture being in a car or a motorcycle and being on the parkway, and you're doing 110 miles an hour and you pass an exit, and that's what this guy reminds me of. He gets so ahead of himself in his movements. If you look at some of the arm bars that he's tried to pull off, he doesn't even really set them up. He just sees it and he goes for it, and he'll actually pass up the arm bar. He'll get it, but then he'll roll out of it because he's not technically going through the steps. If you know what I mean, Drew. Like, even though everything is fluid, there are steps involved to everything. And he kind of just passes the exit. It's like he'll land the arm bar, but he'll miss something on the way that'll just make him pass out of it. Yeah. So someone like Roberson, he's a little bit more calculated. He's got the key to this fight for him is definitely going to be patient. He's got to stay patient. He's got to stay, and he's got to take that onboard computer and he's got to calculate what this guy's giving to him. And he's got to literally just get by a few minutes of havoc. And I think this guy's going to start gassing out. And I think that's when Roberson can take control of the fight. And if he does that, he wins. But he's got to keep his chin tucked and he's got to, he can't bite down on that mouthpiece and get caught into a firefight because then he can step on a landmine.
Yeah, for sure.
So based on what Lab just said, I'm going to look at Roberson maybe round 3. Drew, put it together with that kick. So if he gets a left kick to knock him out in round 3, we'll go Roberson round 3. I'm throwing $10 on that. Let's see what happens with that. That'll probably be like plus 700, plus 800. I'm going to take this next fight. And then, Leb, if you got to get out of here, just let us know.
Let's go. Do one more.
This is Pannie Kianzad and Sijara Eubanks. And again, last Saturday night we had a decent night. I think I wound up losing a little bit just because of these $10 bets. I put a bet real quick on Sijara, and I see a lot of people on Twitter and all these other things talking about Pannie, and I'm not about the 92% takedown defense. Nobody's tried to take her down. All right. She actually slipped against Betch Correia, and then for whatever reason, Betch was on top of her, good control. Pannie couldn't get up, and then Betch just lets her up. No idea what the hell that girl was doing. Betch looked great against Sijara in rounds 2 and 3, but she almost got finished in round 1. Sijara basically gassed out, and I know that's the issue with Sijara, right? Does she work hard? She wasn't able to make the weight at 125 when she was there. Now she's up at 135. She doesn't have the best physique, but I think if she can get Pannie down 2 out of 3 rounds, she wins this by decision, and she'll be able to keep top control. I don't think Pannie's going to be able to get up once Sijara gets her down. Against Julia Avila, Eubanks had the right game plan. In round 1, Avila was able to get some strikes off. She was able to get a takedown, and then that was all she wrote. You know what I mean? So again, Drew, you know her coaches, you know who's training her. You got some people like take Caitlin Chukagian. A couple fights ago, she fought Valentina's sister, right? Caitlin's known as a striker. What did she do? She put her down, put her on her back, won the fight. You know what I mean? Like, game plans are where this fight is going to be won, and Sijara needs to come with a good game plan here. So that's my breakdown. You guys could take it from there. And I bet Sijara.
Whoa, because I felt like you were going to go the other way, the way you were talking shit. But
no. I don't believe in the 92% takedown. I don't think anybody, like, she only has it because you had non-wrestlers trying to take her down. You know what I mean? She's a good striker. If it stays on the feet, Pannie will probably win this fight.
The only thing is Pannie's been saying that she's she comes from Arte Suave, which is a jiu-jitsu wrestling gym. It's a good gym. She has a background, but if you see her training, I mean, her main focus, a lot of what she's known for is her boxing. You know what I'm saying? And this fight, if we're talking about game plans, Sijara's game plan is going to have to be, to get inside and take it to the ground and use her jiu-jitsu. And in a sense, not even to use her jiu-jitsu to finish the fight right away, but just to control Pannie and just to tire out Pannie. So when she gets up, she can't really use her boxing. She can't use her arms because they're going to be tired from from all the sub attempts or from just trying to keep Sijara off her. Because if you look at Sijara, yeah, dude, she's gritty. And honestly, in her division right now, she probably has the best jiu-jitsu. And if anyone's going to take anyone down, it's going to be Sijara who's going to take you down, at least in this division right now. She's on a 1 fight losing streak, but for her, that's really not anything because her whole career has always been up and down. And she just keeps chugging along, and here she is. Pink. That's awesome.
Well, and again, the weird thing to me about, if you go back and you watch the Pannie fight versus Betch, right? Pannie falls in round 1. She slips. Betch has top control, lets her up. So that's the first thing. That's like, what the hell is she doing? Then the referee gives them the 10-second marker, and Betch stopped and turned her back to Pannie. Pannie came over and almost finished her with her right hand. Mad, you saw that? I'm like, she's completely out of this. She's just there to shake her ass and dance in the cage because that's what she does, right? That's what Betch is known to do. She wants to dance in the cage and shake her stuff, and she's out of control. She's not looking to win a fight here. Yeah, Lev, what do you think here?
Listen, I'm a fan of Sijara Eubanks, and I'm not a fan of certain elements of her game, but I'm a fan of her as an athlete. I think she's got a lot more tools than a lot of people think. I think her jiu-jitsu is on point. I think she's got very good camp behind her that can blueprint a perfect game plan for her. And I think there's something to be said about people forgetting the fact that when you have such good jiu-jitsu or you have such good striking, if you implement that and inject that right away, it doesn't mean you have to use it. But for somebody like Sijara, she can literally go right for a takedown. She can start right from her jiu-jitsu right out of the gate. And then what happens is at that point, you're making a striker second guess at this point. You can't let your hands go freely. Because now if you're going to let your hands go freely and you're going to commit to your combinations and you're going to commit to your strikes and you're going to enter the pocket, you're going to have that element in your mind. Well, what happens if she changes to the second level and takes me down? So I think the whole key to this is exactly what you guys are saying is she's got to use her jiu-jitsu and she's got to use it early. She can't sit there and say, well, I'm going to sit there and strike with this girl, and then with a minute left in a round, I'm going to try to secure the round and I'm going to take her down and try to win the round. It works, but in this case, if I was coaching her and I was telling her, I would tell her, listen, let the jiu-jitsu going early, make this girl think to herself, this is what you're going for. And any chance, any avenue that you have, you're going for the jiu-jitsu. And if she does that, I think it's going to taper back Kianzad striking, at least to a 75% wall, where she's going to have to say, listen, I can't enter the pocket. I can't get dirty with this girl. I got to keep her in range or else this girl's going to change levels on me. And I think you got to put that element of fear inside of her and to show her, even if you don't get the submission, even if you're just transitioning on her and you got a couple of attempts, once you let her know that your jiu-jitsu is real, you'll be surprised how much these people back off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, win rounds. If she uses her jiu-jitsu to win rounds, she wins this fight by decision.
Yeah, I agree.
And be careful if you have that little sneaky prop bet, since we like to throw prop bets in there, for Sijara win by KO, because remember, anybody who's anticipating takedowns always misses that overhand right. And Sijara does have a nice overhand right. So, just like the Khabib when he fakes that takedown and throws an overhand right, that's what everybody who's been scared of the takedown always gets caught with. So in this case, if she's gonna box, I think Sijara can catch her a couple ways. But the obvious game plan and the way, the safe way to go for Sijara is to just take her down and make it ugly. So
I just think they're both so hittable. Sijara is so hittable.
The thing with Eubanks, this is what bothers me about her, because I know she's good. I know Sijara's good. I know she's a good athlete. I know she's a good fighter. But sometimes she, in the past at least, she has bought into her own hype. And you know what I mean? And she'll show up some of the times feeling like her back is against the wall and she'll perform. And then other times she'll show up like that person doesn't belong in there with her and she'll shit the bed. You know what I mean? So it really depends on where her mindset is. You know what I mean? She's got the team behind her. She's got great coaches behind her. She's got good teammates behind her. And she's got the talent and the skill to do it. How much she puts into camp, she's the type of fighter that on short notice, it's kind of hard for her. She's got to put in that full camp. If she puts in a full camp and she's dialed in and she's ready to go, she's really, really tough. But like I said, it all depends. Her fights are predicated on Sijara most of the time.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Lad, before we let you go here, you got anything for everybody else to know? I know we got a couple weeks, 3 or 4 weeks before we have a next card, January 16th. You got your breakdowns, you got your DFS, you got your bets, you got your optimizer, and you got your partner deal with Fantasy Labs. Anything else the people need to know?
No, pretty much we're going on a break. We got a 3-week break, but we've been going through the schedule actually, and it's kind of crazy because we're not missing anything if you really think about it. They're doing 4 fights in 2 weeks in January. So did you know that? Did you know that? Yeah, they're doing 4 fights, and that's not and then obviously you have whatever month that's going to be fight week, but yeah, they're doing 4 fights. So I don't even think we're actually missing a week. They're actually just front loading them to January because of the holidays. You know what I mean? That's great. Yeah, I mean it's going to be a lot of work, but no, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate being a part of this thing. I love you guys, dude. You guys. I love you, man. It's not. I don't go on. I really don't go on any shows or anything like that. I do it, with you guys because I love you guys. But yeah, it's absolutely. But yeah. Other than that, let's do one more fight before I go. I got time for more.
Oh, yeah. This is perfect. This is perfect. I'm happy you're here because
I got a prop play that I love in this one. But Anthony Pettis,
my boy Steve put in some crazy shit for this one. I need please
Anthony
explain yourself.
And Alex Morono. Go ahead, lad. This is at 170. Pettis is up at 170 for another fight. Obviously, he had the knockout of Stephen Thompson, second round. Prayer at the end of that second round, I believe, is when he finished him off. So what do you think here? Break this down for us.
I'm not sold that Anthony Pettis is washed. I'm really, really not. I know a lot of people are. I'm not sold on it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at some of his fights, even the ones that he's lost, I mean, the kid has been in some battles his last couple of fights where this kid just doesn't quit. You know what I mean? And I think the thing with Anthony Pettis is this. I think that his brother had a very big proponent in the reason why he had kind of a resurgence. When Sergio started doing well, I almost think it lit a fire under his ass, because before Sergio stepped into the UFC and started winning fights, he was really on a decline. And people were giving up on Anthony Pettis. But then once Sergio started doing well, it seems like Anthony started doing a lot better. He started fighting better. He started training harder. He started taking it more serious. Sometimes in people's career, you got to remember, he's young, man. This is a kid who, at one time, he was the first MMA athlete ever. He was on a Wheatie box.
Yeah.
This kid was very, very dynamic. He was one of the first kids, I mean, honestly, to bring that Matrix style, into it. And is he what he used to be? Absolutely not. He's not what he used to be. I mean, you can't, when you're that style, when you're the Wonder Boy and you're the Anthony Pettis and you're these guys, as you get older, the first thing to go is your speed. The last thing to go is your power. So that's why these heavyweights will sit. They could go a little. You got guys like George Foreman, who won the belt at 42 years old, because he's all about power. Your power doesn't leave you. Your power is always with you. Speed leaves you first. So if speed is a big component of your game, yeah, it's going to give you a little bit of a negative effect. But I don't think he's washed. I really don't. I don't know where people think he's washed. I think this is a tough fight that he's got ahead of him, because I think Morono's the type of guy that's going to try to close that gap, and he's not going to allow him to really open up as much. But listen, this is a guy who's coming off. This guy can be waxed, Morono. Morono can really look like a superstar for the first 2 minutes, just putting it on you, putting it on you. And then I've seen him getting caught with phantom punches where he literally buckles down to a knee and he thinks he's on fucking in Jupiter. You know what I mean? So, and I think Anthony Pettis is that kind of fighter. Look what he did to Wonder Boy. He was getting worked by Wonder Boy. And then all of a sudden, that one step off the cage, Superman punch off the cage, and he flattened him. And it's not about his size. People were like, well, I can't believe he's the one who flattened out, power is different, man. Speed equals power, explosion equals power. It depends the way you're generating. And this is a kid who, when he trains under Duke Rufus for years, black belt karate, he's got that very point-based system, but he adds his own matrix style. He does have some pop in the shot. He's pretty durable. I think it's going to be a really, really good fight. But once again, it's going to be, is Anthony Pettis going to be Anthony Pettis, or is he going to get baited into a firefight? If he gets baited into a firefight, it's going to be trouble. Because listen, Morono is also no slouch on the ground. The kid's got a good ground game. Got a very good ground game. But people sleep on Anthony Pettis' ground game. Anthony Pettis has a very, very slick ground game. So I could see this fight going, Morono early, Pettis late. You know what I mean? If Morono's going to get it done, I could see Morono get it done early, catching him early, catch him in an exchange, and hurting him. But if the later this goes, the more that Pettis can kind of calculate and dial in what he's doing, because Morono's not throwing anything at him that he's never seen before, where Pettis is going to throw things at him that he's never seen before. So if he can dial him in and calculate him in by the end of the first round, going into the second round, I think it's Pettis' fight to win. But if he gets caught up in a firefight, it could be a quick night.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I mean, for me, Morono only has one way to win this fight, and that's to make it ugly. That's to make it gritty. That's to make it, literally what you said. Only a fight that he can win maybe in the first round, maybe in the second, because the later this fight goes, the more Anthony Pettis knows how you fight, knows the distance, can set the traps, can move. Really early, he's not really good at that. And right now, what really worries me, and I think why people said he was washed, was his mindset, man. For me, I don't think he's washed. He's still a great athlete. He's only 33 years old. He's, pretty healthy for the type of career he's had. But for me, it's just his mental. Like he said, he said he was looking at a sports psychologist, I think, in one of the interviews I was looking at.
But here's a tidbit for you. He's been clean for 4 months.
Oh, yeah. Oh shit.
No drugs,
wasn't it weed and alcohol he was talking about?
Yeah, but he's been, and not that he's had a problem. Not like he was like a Louis Smolka, where Smolka was, an actual full blown alcoholic. But he even said the whole stigma behind Brazilian jiu-jitsu is if you do jiu-jitsu, you got to smoke weed. Like that's the stigma. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he, he hasn't touched anything in about 3 or 4 months, which makes you wonder, like, maybe his cardio is going to be in check. Maybe he's going to come with a lot of heat. I mean, 33 years old. He's young, dude.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
That smooth smile out of
No, this guy's got a fucking smirk on his face.
But you said it in jiu-jitsu, you smoke weed. There was a
No,
Drew.
There's a stigma. There's a stigma about that.
What? Nah. Listen, for me, I just feel like for Anthony Pettis, he had his moment of where he was feeling too much showtime. You know what I'm saying? He was feeling himself a little bit too much, and that's all it is. And then him doing this now, going sober, talking to a doctor, which honestly I don't even think he needs, but I think he's doing that, to kind of justify his loss, because I feel like this is himself, like humbling himself, like getting off that pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he was on the Wheaties box. Yeah, he did all this and that. But for a while, when you start to feel yourself a little bit, that's when you could, meet your greatest downfall. And it's not your opponents that start to beat you. It's yourself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
couldn't said it better. Yep.
And in this fight, I feel like if he comes into this fight with the mindset that he looks like he has, which is a good one right now, Morono might have a shot. He might look good. He might have some flashes here and there. The only way I see him really winning is getting this fight to the ground and making it ugly, like I said, making it boring, making it sure that Anthony Pettis can't get to his feet. But I feel like Anthony Pettis is going to come in dialed in, and if he wins, it's either going to be Showtime-like or on the points. That's pretty much the only way that I see it.
If it goes to the ground early, I like Pettis off his back.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you say that.
I like Pettis off his back. If it goes to look at some of his bodies of work, even recently when he's been put on his back, he's slick. He's got a very underrated ground game, dude. He really, really does, because he's got a creative mindset. When you have a creative mindset, whether it's striking or not, depending on, he's got a very creative mindset, and he creates things. He creates angles. He creates space. He sees things differently. When you're a creative person, that's what, and he's very, so early on, man. I mean, listen, once they're wet and they're slippery, it's a little bit different. But early on, if Morono gets on top of him, I wouldn't be nervous for Pettis. It's when he starts taking the bait. Yeah. He starts biting down and getting that ego in him. Oh my God, this guy might have won a round. He might come back and try to do something. It really, like I said, a lot of these fights are predicated on the fighter that you like to win on this card. How are they going to show up? Mm-hmm. Same thing with the Stephen Thompson fight. It's the same. It's really, how is he going to show up? There's a 60 fight cut coming, guys. They're going to be cutting fighters, and a lot of these guys are on the chopping block. Anthony Pettis is one of them. He's on the chopping block. This is a contract fight for him. So he's either going to win this fight and get a contract, or maybe even not get a contract, even if he wins it, or he's going to lose the fight and he's going to get cut, and he may be finding himself in Bellator or something like that.
Yeah, Bellator, I was going to say more than likely, because, those guys are picking up everybody.
Yeah.
That's where his brother is, too.
Yep. Yeah, mm-hmm. yeah, exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm. He might even win this fight and go to Bellator. Who knows? You don't know,
Mm-hmm. For him, he doesn't care. He doesn't worry about it. But, as all athletes know, when you say you don't care, that thing is right there. See that right there in the back of your head? It's right there. Yeah. And that contract is definitely staring him in the face no matter what he says. So I know for a fact he wants to come out and just win, baby, because at this point that's what he needs, a dub. Yep. If he does a spectacular or whatever, he just needs to be dominant, and he needs to be Showtime.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Lab, before you go, we want to give a shout out to Showdown Christine. She retweeted the show and everything tonight, so shout out to Christine. We gave her some NFL bets. I know I gave her the 2 NFL bets. I had Johnson over 3.5 catches. Over 47
you better take her NFL bets, dude. She's sharp as hell in football.
Yo, well, listen, I had a Johnson bet.
Come on, boy.
Yo, I got to start listening. I didn't even get over at the Discord before because I was so busy. But yeah, she's sharp, man. She's sharp everywhere. She's sharp on MMA. She's sharp in NFL. She's sharp. We got some really sharp people, dude. We got some really sharp people, dude.
Join us.
We really do, dude.
Listen, by the way, guys, everybody watching and listening, thank you. We love you. And anybody who's not with the lab yet, you literally have 3 weeks to join. I really don't know what you're going to do. Because think about it. When we come back in January, there's 4, like he said, there's 4 cards. Bang, 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 bang. 4 fights. I think you want to be with us for that. Thank you. You're the man, bro.
I love you guys, dude. Next time I see you, I'll be tan, dude.
Oh, bro, stop, man. Just enjoy, because I'll probably be cold still over here wearing this flannel on my beard.
I'll be
As I
next
said,
next show. I'll be doing it from the beach.
all we want is our titles. We're waiting for our titles, brother.
Yo, I'm actually. I told Steve I'm actually going when I get down there. I'm gonna probably join King's MMA. It's right near my office.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So depending on what's going on with COVID and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know what the shutdowns look like over there, but yeah, King's MMA is right over there, bro. Everything's over there. Even Gabby Garcia's got her gym, Alliance gym over there that she just opened up. Yeah. So yeah, I'm stoked.
California is the Mecca. It's the Mecca, California, for fighting and jiu-jitsu. It's amazing.
Yeah, dude. I'm psyched. I'm stoked to go. I can't wait.
Did you post any bets yet?
They are going up tonight. I told you I was waiting. I'm looking at a couple nice ones, dude, but these lines haven't moved that much. I'm a little shocked. And I think it really, bro, they haven't moved. There's a couple lines where I was like, you know what, I'm going to sit, like the team going the other way. They'll drop 5 or 10 points. They'll come back up to normal. Some of them are sitting the way they were at opening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I got a couple. Yeah, I'm going to probably post. I'll probably post majority of them tonight. When I get off the phone with you guys, I'm breaking down all the DraftKings and what's going on with the game by then. I got it now behind me. I don't even know what's going on.
It was 17-10. Johnson had a touchdown right before the half. So he's over. I already hit the yardage. I need one more catch.
Yo,
Get you broke, bro.
Yo, look at him. Look at that. Look, listen. If the volume was off, I would know he won something because look at the smirk on his face.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm already up $150 right now. Hit that, I'll be up another 300, and I'll put some down on a little bit more on these next two plays. This is my play today.
The fucking money smirk, dude. You always know the money smirk.
Well, listen, they could all join the MadLabMMA.com and make the money with us. I put it in the Discord before.
Yeah, bro. Did you really?
So, yeah, I put it in the Discord.
I didn't see it, dude. See, I haven't been on the Discord in like 2 days.
You're working all the time. You're working too much.
Yeah, I know. One more fucking. Then I get a little fuck you. Bro, I'm not even taking a break, bro. I was telling Bush today. I was like, it's supposed to be a break. It's not even a break, bro. I got to get out there, setting up the office, setting up the media studio, dude. We're gonna put like the couches in there with the walls behind us, and dude, we're literally working from the time. And then before you know it, I got to start breaking down 4 fights in 2 weeks. So it's like, yeah, I'm literally going out there, dude, going right to the office and building out the studio.
I can't wait to go out, bro. Drew, you know we're going out.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude, you guys got to come out. It'll be fun.
Once the lockdowns in Cali calm down, because it's a little wild.
Yeah, but you know what, bro? A buddy of mine's out there right now, dude. And he messaged me a picture. There's some of the gyms are open. I don't know what's going on with like King's MMA and some of the MMA gyms out there. I'll find out when I get out there. Because obviously once I get down there.
I mean, from my knowledge, all the jiu-jitsu gyms are pretty much training. They're not training.
Yeah, are they training publicly or are they training for their fighters?
Well, I mean, put it this way: IBJJF is still running tournaments.
And but are they intaking new people? That's the they see a guy coming in from New Jersey, they're gonna be like, whoa.
You got to quarantine 14 days.
Yeah, I mean, you quarantine 14 days. You know what I'm saying? You tell them you want to pay their membership fee. I'm sure they want to take your money. They're good.
Oh yeah, dude. I got to see the place, dude. It's fucking nice, dude.
Bro, King's MMA is a great place, man.
I'll tell you what, bro. The best place I've ever been, dude. I went to Iceland about 3 years ago, dude, and I trained at Molnar, where Gunnar Nelson trains.
Oh,
and and it was actually where Conor McGregor tweeted that he was fighting Mayweather. He sent his tweet out laying down in the cage in Molnar that he was going to fight Conor. Bro, this place, dude, is when you want to talk about the nicest place I've ever been in, bro, it's literally like in the middle of nowhere, right? And when you walk in, it's like you're in a castle. It's like they got this big waiting area with these torches inside the wall. Then you go inside and everything is brick exposed. It's 3 levels. You got guys just doing Muay Thai downstairs, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on the middle floor. It was the most insane. And my ex-girlfriend at the time, we're in Iceland, and I'm like, dude, if you don't think I'm going to Molnar to train, right? You're out here, bro. It was like a blizzard out there, dude. I made her drop me off. We had to rent a car. We had a Jetta, and it was on a hill, dude. And I made her drop me off on the street, dude. And as she dropped me off, dude, the car starts going like backwards. I was like, wait, dog.
Yeah, that's fucking great, dude.
Yo, that place is. I'll send you pictures. I'll send you guys pictures. The place was insane, dude.
Bro, that place is on my bucket list now. I'm definitely I want to go there now for sure.
Yeah, place was insane. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later on. I'll give you guys a shout later on.
Yo, Lab, thank you so much for coming on. You're the GOAT.
Have a good rest of the show, guys.
Thank you, brother.
All right, so let's get into our next fight.
For that surprise, bro. Thank you for that surprise. That was awesome.
Yeah, I told them both that I wasn't going to tell you that they were going to come on, but I needed to surprise you a little bit. So the next fight is Gillian Roberson and Taila Santos.
Nah. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you dare skip over my boy Tybura. Don't do it.
Oh, no. I have him as next. Am I at a... You know what? They redid the order. All right, let's go to Tybura. Marcin, Tybura, and Greg Hardy. Go ahead, bro. You take this one.
Yo, don't you skip over my boy Tybura. Nah. All right, nah. So this fight, honestly, I'll keep it short and sweet. Tybura's going to take it to the ground. He's going to sub Greg Hardy. I said it right now. You can bet it. You can put it as a prop. You can put it however you want. He's either going to win by sub or on points. The reason I say that is because he said it. During one of his interviews, he knows that Greg Hardy is an animal, and he knows that he can flatten him out by just touching him. And Greg Hardy is a real athlete. He's not somebody who needs to know how to fight to win. You get what I'm saying? He's literally doing that now. He's learning as he goes. And that's because he's a real athlete. This dude can do it all. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And in this case, he's not going to do whatever the hell he wants against Tybura. Because Tybura, I mean, he has almost double or triple the fights that Greg Hardy even has probably in his life. So in this case, I feel like Tybura is just going to use his experience, dodge a lot of bombs, try not to step on a landmine, and get the dub. And he's probably going to sub him because I know Greg Hardy says that he has good cardio and that he's been good, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get fight cardio and fight conditioning up to par, especially up to par with Tybura. So I feel like Tybura gets the best of him on the ground, and that's his path to victory for sure.
Yeah, I think Tybura is gonna do exactly what you just said. I think he's gonna give him the vet moves. He's gonna push him up against the cage. He's going to not give him any distance because again, the way that Hardy can be successful is he needs distance. And if he has that distance, he can open up, use his strikes. I think he's gonna tire him out, put him on the ground, and use those vet moves, push him against the cage, go for those takedowns, lay on him. Like he did it against Derek Lewis a couple years ago, but Derek Lewis, unfortunately, I think it was the third round, wound up catching him. And he did it in his last fight against Grisham. The only difference with Grisham, I think Grisham came in at like 225. Hardy's going to be 265, so he's going to be 40 pounds heavier. But he's going to use the same thing, push him against the cage, take him down, use those vet moves, put the elbows in his face, throw a couple punches, nothing. Just enough to not get the fight stood up. That's all he's going to wind up doing.
Yep.
So we can get into this next fight. Gillian Roberson, Taila Santos. Again, we've already been going for 57 minutes. We won't go too long here. But I think this is Gillian Robertson's fight. I already have a bet on it. I think I'm going to hit it again now that I hit that football bet. I love Gillian Robertson here. Seriously, man, think about it from this perspective. And I said this, Lab called me earlier in the day when we decided that we were going to set you up and make sure that you didn't know that he was coming on. So when I was talking to him earlier in the day, I said, what the thing is with Robertson? She trains with Dean Thomas, kind of his protege, right? They had this fight scheduled for August. It got canceled.
Yeah.
Okay? So now when Taila Santos, I believe she had a fight scheduled 2 weeks ago, when they went to reschedule her, you don't think that Dean Thomas heard that she was looking for the fight and was like, I want that fight. Not only did he want the fight the first time, he wanted the fight the second time for Gillian Robertson. So I think that they know what they're getting into here. They know, and from what I've seen, Taila Santos is a BJJ blue belt. That's what I saw online. I was looking for her.
Yo, you want to know what's crazy? That when I watched Taila Santos fight, in my head, I was saying, she has blue belt jiu-jitsu. And I promise you, I didn't look at anything. I was just watching her fight. And the reason I can say that is because in one of her fights, when she was on, her opponent had her in side control. And when she was in side control, she legit had an overhook, and she still was trying to get her in a guillotine. And anybody with good jiu-jitsu, purple belt and above, knows you got to get some frames going. Know you got to get some distance on the ground. Know you got to create distance on the ground. And in her case, she's not going to be able to create distance with Gillian. Gillian literally wastes no time. She does not care if you know that she's going to take you to the ground. She's literally going to take you to the ground and maul you, and she doesn't care if you know about it. She's going to tell you. I mean, when they asked her and they interviewed her, she was like, come on, everybody knows what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you to the ground, and I'm going to try to rear naked choke you. So, I mean, the bet is literally she just made it for me. Gillian Roberson by sub. I don't care what round. She's going to win by sub. And if she doesn't win by sub, you can take it by double chance, which is awesome that FanDuel does it. Because that's what I'm putting my next bet into. You know what I'm saying? Sub or in points. And honestly, that's the safest money that I can go with. And in this whole card, that's the one that, in my opinion, I'd put the house on, the sub or points. Because Taila, yeah, she has good stand-up. She's all right. But listen to this. When she had her fight 2 weeks ago, right? She was here, and she said that she didn't stay in the States. She went back to Brazil to keep training. So you don't think this back and forth isn't going to affect her in this fight? I think it does. And I think it's going to affect her when she gets put on her back after trying to knock Gillian out, which she's not going to get a chance to, because you can hit Gillian and Gillian is going to keep coming forward. She's literally called the Savage. So, I mean, it's easy. Gillian wins by sub or points. That's the way I see it happening. If she gets caught, then she gets caught. It's MMA, but I just don't see it going any other way.
No, I think MMA Lock of the Night is actually doing a $25 contest. I sent it to you, Drew, if you want to join. And you pick one fighter for each card. It starts in January. I said, I'm in. He goes, you understand the rules? I said, yeah, I get it. If I had to start now, I'd put it on Gillian Roberson. I think she's the surest thing. And I can't believe it's basically even money right now. Like, when you say a line is off, like, I just think this line is off. Gillian Roberson's 25 years old. I believe that Dean Thomas is just slow walking her into getting a title shot, and he's handpicking her opponents. You know, he hangs out with Dana. They do the show together, looking for a fight and stuff. Like, there's no way that he would take the fight with Santos, get it canceled, and then want this fight again when Santos is available. Like, they had her, they had a game plan. Like, he's sharp, man. He knows his stuff, and he's not going to put Gillian Roberson in a position that she's not ready for. They know that they can handle this girl on the ground, and I just think it's a great matchup for her. So I'm about to hit that line again. And to even go a step further, Drew, I don't have any more bets on this card, so we can just kind of do some pick'ems, throw out some things that we like here. But I believe our next fight is Marlon Moraes and Rob Font. I'll let you go first. I think you know where I'm going, so I'll let you go first. Go ahead. What do you think?
I mean, my mind is telling me, yeah. I mean, dude, I really, really love Marlon. He's my dog. I like him a lot. I like the way he fights. You know, he hits hard. But just like Anthony Pettis, it's about his mind, man. If he comes into this fight with a mindset, you know, that this guy doesn't belong in there with him and he's not humble about it, I feel like he's going to have a bad night, because Rob Font, coming off a layoff of a year after being injured, and with the distance and advantage that he has just in the reach, which I believe it's about almost 6 inches, 5 inches in reach advantage, that's not good for Marlon. And Marlon isn't the type of fighter who, you know, he will take a punch to give one, you know what I'm saying? But more than, you know, lately, those punches he's been taking have been putting him out. And Rob Font, literally in an interview, he made the bet for me. He said, they asked him, what was your path to victory here? And he said, second round knockout. So, I mean, that tells you exactly where his head is at right now. And honestly, before he even said that, that's where I feel like he's going, because Marlon's going to come out banging because he has to. Because Rob Font is going to keep the distance away. Marlon can't keep the distance. He can't point fight. He has to get in there to try to finish. And he even said it himself. If he makes a mistake, he can get put out. And this is a fight where it's razor's edge here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, I feel like Rob Font is going to come out on the better side of this. I'd love to see Marlon win. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't have any money on it, but I'm going with Font this time, because I just feel like the reach is going to be too much, and he knows how to use his reach. Not like he doesn't. And Marlon, he might catch Font a couple times, but I don't feel like he's going to do anything enough to damage Font or to even simply win, man. I'm not even going to put too much on it.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I just think this is a great fight. We got 4 fights in a row that are just great fights.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, this card is actually a very, very good card, top to bottom. We just came off a great pay-per-view, and we got another good card. Like, this is a treat to end the year.
This is amazing.
But, Rob Font, his boxing is on point. There's a lot of fights here that I've talked about already. Like, the ground game is really going to be, to me, the make or break in the fight. This is going to be the boxing, and I think Rob Font has the jab to keep that distance, like you just said, and I think he's in a great position to counter strike. I think he's in a great position to keep distance and use that jab, use his crisp boxing. So I really like Rob Font, and I also think that Marlon is going to gas. So if Marlon gasses second round, middle of the second round, the third round, even if Marlon wins round 1, Font can win rounds 2 and 3, maybe even get a late finish. So I like Font there. No bet yet, but I do like Font there.
Hey, and just look for, he did say KO, and I believe him, but watch out for the submission too, because if Marlon gets caught a couple times, he might want to try to take it to the ground and try to ground and pound like he likes to do. And Rob Font is pretty slick on the ground, so that's in there too. And just so you know, you can also bet KO or submission. So that's another option that if you don't use FanDuel, you can use on FanDuel. It's KO or submission win, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, it's a double chance. That's pretty awesome too.
So for anyone who didn't see my tweet earlier in the week, when I was tape studying Michael Pereira and Khaos Williams, I put a video from Indiana Jones. It's the scene in Indiana Jones where there's like some ninja guy that comes out with a big sword and he's doing all these crazy sword tricks. And then Indiana Jones just pulls out the gun and just shoots him and then walks away like, it's nobody's business. That's this fight to me. All right. Khaos Williams is Indiana Jones and Michael Pereira is this ninja guy that's going to be hopping around the cage, doing somersaults, like, cartwheels. Like, he's going to do all this crazy stuff. And Khaos Williams is going to catch him with a shot and put him out. And I understand that Khaos doesn't have this big time, experience right now. But again, Mad Lab before when he was on, he was like Alice Morono. He's seen him get sent to Jupiter. Khaos Williams was the one who sent him to Jupiter. That was Khaos in Morono's hometown in Houston. One shot, done.
Yo, how about this? 2 fights in the UFC. He has 57 seconds of fight time.
Yeah.
57 seconds of fight time. My man, like he said in his Mr. T voice, he said, if what did he say? Oh, if you make a mistake, he must pay. So Alex better not Michael better not make no mistakes. He better not make no tricks. He said he has 43 new moves. He better hope one of those 43 new moves doesn't come with a mistake, because he's going to pay and Khaos is going to make him pay.
True, he's going to make a mistake. That's really what I believe. He's going to make a mistake. This may look fancy at times. It may look like, it's going to be very entertaining, but I think Khaos is going to catch him. And again, he walks into that cage and the mean mug that he puts on, he just mean mugs you the entire time, the entire fight. I'm going to go Khaos here.
Quick question. What do you think about Michael's move to Vegas, though? Do you think that hones him in? Because now Pereira's in Vegas. He lives in Vegas. He trains in Vegas. So it leads to say that he's training with the gym that probably wants to hone down all those theatrics, especially since he's fighting in a smaller ring now. And to be effective the way that he fights, because, all right, let's keep it real. He's using capoeira, and he's using capoeira movements. That's the reason why he can do all the crazy shit and look all crazy. And to people who don't know what capoeira is, it's a style of fighting that incorporates a lot of movement, literally dancing. So for people who fight him, it can look like dancing, it can look like tricks, it can look like, look over here, I'll hit you over here. But at the same time, it's very effective, but it's very ineffective in a cage that you can barely move. And Khaos, if he corners him, which he's going to, and just something that Khaos said. Khaos said that if Michael Pereira gets too tricky, then he's just gonna have to ground him for 3 rounds and dominate him. And who's to say he can't do that? I mean, Michael Pereira maybe has some jiu-jitsu, but I don't think enough to put away Khaos.
Yeah, and again, like you just said, it's a small cage in Vegas. Listen, I'm with Khaos here, but it's going to be a great fight. So let's go to this next one. Yeah, let's go to this next one. Jose Aldo, Marlon Vera. Are you a Marlon Vera fan?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and break this one down.
Okay, so Marlon Vera in this fight, my narrative, at least for this one, is going to be that right now he's on the rise, and Jose Aldo is pretty much on his way out. And I mean, I don't really want to go, too brainy with this and try to see through something, read between the lines or anything like that. It's simply put, man, Marlon Vera right now, I feel like is hungrier. Jose Aldo is on his tour, just like Spiderson, Anderson Silva. If he gets blasted in this fight, I feel like Jose Aldo might retire, because I mean, what else is for him to do, man? I mean, the dude relatively isn't old, but in fight years, the dude's a dinosaur. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Marlon Vera is the win here. I think he's gonna sub him. That's just my pick if I'm gonna bet it, and I am gonna bet it. And the reason I like that pick is because in his pro wins, he has 10 wins by submission, 7 by TKO or KO, and 2 by decision. So he's a hunter. And for him to get close in this fight, he's going to have to take down Jose Aldo, because Jose Aldo is going to do what? Kick and throw overhand rights and be vicious, and then tire out and then get taken down and sub. Maybe a heel hook, maybe a leg lock, but he's going to get subbed. And that's how I feel this fight is going to happen. Maybe I'm being far-fetched. Maybe you just want me to say Marlon Vera is going to win, but no. I feel like his path to victory is going to be the sub. And that's Cheeto for me.
So let me put it to you this way. I think we've seen a couple of very good Brazilian legends. Maybe is a little bit too strong of a word. But last week we had Moicano, we had Junior, and we had Jacare, who we went into those fights saying, they've been knocked out. Are they washed? Junior, is he washed? Jacare, this young gun, is he going to be able to use his jiu-jitsu, get him down, or is he washed? And I feel like we found the answer to that, right? In all three cases, it looks like, those guys may be washed. They may not have it anymore. And I think we're going to find something out about Jose Aldo right now. And I feel like it's been the narrative. Was he gonna come back from that big Conor McGregor left hand? He came back, got a couple wins. Max Holloway. Yeah.
What else is Jose Aldo gonna show you? What new trick is he gonna show you? Like, is he gonna come out here and sub my man? No.
Well, here's my narrative. So he comes back out. He goes after Max Holloway. Max Holloway, beats him bad twice, and then he drops down to 135, thinking maybe with that cut he'll be able to compete for a championship again. That's kind of been taken away from him already. So what does he have left? And he's not the guy to just kind of fight and get those big paydays. I think he's right now. I think Marlon Vera is in a great spot. And again, did he earn this spot? I mean, he won the fight. But we all know that, there was an injury why he won that last fight.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, for me, Marlon Vera, I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, Jose Aldo is Jose Aldo, dude. I mean, I know I'm talking my shit, but Jose Aldo can kill you. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't see him doing anything new here. I don't see him pulling out any any new tricks here. But that's going to surprise Marlon Vera, because think about it. He was going to fight a striker in his last fight. You know what I'm saying? And it just so happened that striker got hurt. It wasn't his fault. He just capitalized. Yeah. That's all it was.
And I'll tell you the bet that I like. I like Marlon Vera, 2nd round, Marlon Vera, 3rd round. Like, you keep saying sub, which is getting in my head, because I was going to say KO. I think he may catch him. But, I mean, if you're on FanDuel and you like those round props, and you like to do
KO or sub.
Well, you could do that, but I'm talking about a round prop, right? I'm talking about our $10.
Oh, okay.
$10 to make 900. Right? We love those little parlays.
The only reason I wouldn't go with the KO is because of the path to victory, right? Cheeto Chito will throw some strikes. He might catch him here and there. But who's the better striker here? Jose Aldo. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to have to get the fight to the ground. And that's the only reason why I feel like in our round bets that we do weekly, I'm going to go with the sub this time. I'm going to put Marlon Vera by sub, either second or third round. I feel maybe later, only because, you know, Jose will get tired later. So
yeah, no, I think it's a good play because, again, Jose Aldo usually starts off, you know, at a pretty good pace, and Marlon Vera has that reputation for starting slow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In a couple of his fights. So yeah, I like Vera second or third if we're gonna go with those props. So I'll start with the main event here, and then I'll throw it to you, right? So you got Stephen Thompson, Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal and Alex Morono are both from Fortis MMA, so they're training together. So that's another reason why I kind of like Alex Morono a little bit. I like Alex Morono with maybe a late prop there too, maybe like a knockout third round. Maybe catch Pettis with something late. But I think Jeff Neal is going to be ready to go. He's had a tough year, right? I've heard in a couple of interviews.
He got that like some infection or some went septic.
Yeah.
Almost died or something like that.
Yeah, and it sounds nasty. You know, it sounds nasty. And again, I like Jeff Neal a lot, but Jeff Neal is also, you know, and if Mad Lab was on here, this is exactly what he would say. I know what Mad Lab would say, but and you know this too. But there's different distances that you fight at, right? And Stephen Thompson, when he's at his distance, he's the best at his distance because he has those side shuffle kicks. If he can stay at that distance, he can just point fight for 5 rounds and it's not an issue. And we've seen him do it. You know what I mean? And I think that that's what he's going to be able to do here with Jeff Neal. I think he's going to get the better of it, and he'll win 3 or 4 of these rounds and point fight. From a DraftKings perspective, I made my DraftKings lineup, my cash lineup, threw it in already. Again, I may change it. You know, it's only Thursday, but I don't even have the main event in there because I think it's going to be low scoring, even over 5 rounds. So there are times where I'll stack the main event in cash. I don't even have the main event in my cash lineup right now. Now that may change, but I think it's going to be a low scoring fight, which a lot of Stephen Thompson's fights are low scoring. He's went to the distance with Darren Till, one of the worst fights. I still think Thompson won that fight. He went to the distance with Tyron Woodley, but this is the kind of fighter he is. You know what I mean? And I think he's going to be able to use his technique, his karate style, to keep that distance and win 3 or 4 rounds. Drew. So what do you think here?
I mean, honestly, you almost took the words out of my mouth. I actually tweeted about it earlier in the week or maybe earlier today. I don't even remember. But I did tweet about it saying that Stephen Thompson's path to victory is to point fight. You know what I'm saying? In this fight, and if you think about it, the names you just brought up, those are absolute killers, literally absolute killers that he fought. And he knows how to manage his distance against killers. And in this case, he's got Jeff Neal, you know, hands of steel, is another killer that if he touches you, can blast you. You know what I'm saying? So Stephen Thompson knows that. And Stephen Thompson, in this case, he's not really being prepared for a takedown. Think he's worried about a takedown? No, he doesn't have to worry about that. This match is literally in Stephen Thompson's yard. You know what I'm saying? He stays away. The ring might be a little bit of an issue because it's small again in the apex. So Jeff Neal might be able to corner him in and get the angles. But who's better at angles than Stephen Thompson? I don't think anyone. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I feel like, just like my tweet, it's going to be a points fight. And he's going to Mayweather it. He's just going to win on points. He's going to pick and pop. And, I mean, don't be surprised if he catches him with a head kick. Because Stephen Thompson, although we do talk shit about his fights and they might be textbook, he can still blast you with a head kick. And he's done it before.
Everyone says he's not a finisher and everything. Yep.
Yeah. But, I mean, come on. Stephen Thompson's the nicest guy in the world that'll kill you. Just move with a head kick. So, I mean, in this case, if you want to get wild, throw in a KO or points bet for Stephen Thompson. But I'd probably take him straight if I was to take him. But you know what? I never duck bets and I never duck fights. But this fight, I don't even want to look at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stephen Thompson will win, but I don't think my money's going to touch that fight. I don't even think I put it in a parlay.
I didn't touch it at all yet, and I'm going to hold out. I'm going to see how the night goes, and then I may throw something on Thompson, you know, late, depending on how the night went. Personally, I think the night's going to go great for me, but that's just me.
Every weekend, baby, we cash. Bing. Yo, but check this out. for everybody, they call me Captain Parlay on the lab. All right. And just because of that, now I'm going to give you one parlay for the week. I probably gave it to Stevie already, but I'll give you one that I think is all right. For me, obviously, you guys know and heard me earlier, I like Tafon by KO and literal KO. And if you want to get tricky, throw a double chance, but we're confident around here. So we're going to go Thompson by KO, Jimmy Flick by submission, and last but not least, Marcin Tybura by sub. Put that together, Steve, then you're going to get a nice plus money. Throw $25 on it, maybe 50, maybe 100 like I am, and you make some money. And that's how we do it over here. So God bless. Merry Christmas.
We've been in touch, right? We've been in touch with some people to give. FanDuel gives those double chance, which we love, and they give those round props, which we love. And we parlay them every week. But again, I think some other books need to do that. We reached out to my bookie this week, Rafael Esparza. We're going to talk to them, see if they'll put them up. And we're looking for that FanDuel sponsorship. So we'll see what happens there. But yo, Drew, enjoy the week, bro. We'll talk again tomorrow. We text all day. We'll talk to Mad Lab later. And 2021 is going to be big for us, all right? Working with Mad Lab, it's going to be great. Let's get that outro.
Huge.
What up? It's your boy DJ Naeem. I want to give a huge shout out. Going out to my Jersey boys, breaking down these UFC cards, baby. Let's go.
Got a little mama and she chillin' by the poolside. Fashion over drip, body done with a hair tie. Ex-Steve calling to that boy, he need to sit back. You don't got a bag, you can never get your chick back. Broke boy.